Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. It's a rainy day, damp and cool, and I think it's about at the high of the day. It's going to start getting colder, so cuddle up and oops, hit the button too soon. Cuddle up inside, be cozy. Maybe it's a good day for a fire. Good morning. Oops, sorry, fix my hair. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Whew. Yeah, dreary, rainy outside. I have to run out to the store. We did not go to the drugstore yesterday and get Aura's pills in. She needs them for tonight, so I will be running out, doing a little errand in the rain. We didn't go yesterday because the plan was we were going to go after we walked the dogs and just stop there on our way home. But we were expecting a delivery. Dennis orders wine from this organization or company called Last Bottle. And they send him a text every day telling him what the wine of the day is. And it's a discounted price because it's like leftovers or, the end of a shipment, or I'm not sure exactly what. But they're usually pretty good prices. Not super discounted, but good prices. And interesting wines from all over the world. So anyway, he ordered some wine, and they're supposed to be signed for. They often don't make a sign, but they're supposed to be signed for, and we were expecting delivery yesterday. And so I didn't walk the dogs with Dennis. I stayed home in case our wine got delivered. And when, so that threw us off, and Dennis just took the dogs and came home, and so we didn't go to the drugstore. But our wine didn't get delivered during the day. And so about 10 o'clock, Pearl starts. It actually starts at dark. She's all wound up. She's all, something, supersonic ears. She hears something and she barks like crazy, and she goes outside and she barks and barks and barks. So about 10 o'clock last night, Dennis closed the dog door, brought her in and closed the dog door, called Maisie. She didn't come, so he closed the dog door. To keep her from being out there barking her fool head off. So about 10:30, quarter to 11, Pearl starts fussing around like something's going on the front porch. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're delivering this wine at 10:30 at night on a Saturday night. So I go to the front door, and Macy's on the front porch banging on the door. So I let her in, obviously. So I let her in, and she was wet. It had been raining. She doesn't mind if she gets wet. She likes being wet. So I went around and checked, like, how the heck did she get out to the front yard? But the door to the garage was closed, and I think the main door in the garage was closed. The back door was closed, and there she was in the front yard on the front porch, banging on the door. Freaked me out. So Dennis put his coat on and went around to make sure that all the gates... So obviously she was outside when Dennis closed the door. She's black. If she doesn't come, you'll never find her. And he didn't think to look around. He didn't even know she was out there, really. He just, called her. She didn't come. So he came in and didn't look around to find her in the house. So he went out and checked all the gates. We have 3 gates to the front yard that she could have gotten out, but they were all closed. He couldn't see any obvious way. So either she has found a way to get through the fence, or she figured out she can jump the fence. Now, both of my dogs could jump that fence. It's a 4-foot fence, I guess. I'm guessing it's about a 4-foot fence. Some of the place, it's a split rail fence that is very old. It's like over 20 years old, and it's breaking in places. And so, I mean, it's early on our list of things to do. In fact, I was thinking we would try to get somebody this spring to replace that fence, because it needs to be replaced. Back in the, 4 years ago, when we were thinking we were going to build our house on the property next door, I was thinking we wouldn't replace this fence. We would just build a good fence in the new house and take this fence down. And this house when we sold it, wouldn't have a fence. So it's not a good fence. And we are going to replace it. And of course, both dogs could jump this fence. Our first dog jumped 8-foot fences. I mean, if they want to, well, that was a chain link fence, so she kind of climbed it. But this fence is only keeping them in because they think that they're supposed to stay in. It hasn't occurred to them before yesterday that they could actually jump that fence. So this is the first time. I don't know what happened. I'm going to get my, mucklucks on and my coat and walk around and see if I can figure out where she got out. But anyway, it's really freaked me out. And I told Dennis, I'm really surprised how upset I am by the fact that I had to open the front door and let her in yesterday. Plus, because of the way her fur is, her strap collar that has her tags on it gets all tangled in her fur and matted, and you can't grab her collar because you end up grabbing her and it hurts her. So we have a choke chain, which sounds like a terrible thing, but it's just a chain collar because it doesn't get matted with the fur, and we can grab it when we need to grab her. But we don't have her tags on that. I'm like, we got to put her collar back on and put her tags on her. If she's going to be jumping the fence, she has to have her tags on. So, anyway, so that was my last night, and I'm still a little freaked out, but she's right over here. So luckily she's a homebody, but I was pretty impressed that she knew to come to the front door. I don't know that she's ever been in and out of the front door. I mean, she's seen it from this side, of course, because, packages, and she barks all the time and stuff like that. But anyway, she came to the front door. I did a lot of knitting yesterday. And here are my leg warmers. I've decided I'm going for a crazy color next. I decided to, I'm going to be doing very crazy colors. See this? I wonder what this yarn is from, but I have 2 things of it, and it's got purple on the inside. I didn't even realize. So anyway, I decided to veer from the Advents because they were just too, sweet and pale. I'm not finding the word that I mean. They're very quiet yarns for the most part. And so, other than the pink. And so anyway, I went different, and I went crazy, and I went to these, which I found in a I have minis all over the place because I have them from past Advents. I've been collecting them. I used to knit, so I made my own. So I have bags of them that I'm, I found a bag tucked in my thing that had a bunch of yarns. Anyway, so this is what I started with. So there's not going to be much yellow. This is as much, oops, just throw it on the floor. This is as much yellow as I'm going to have, and the rest is going to go orange. And I'm kind of glad about that. The yellow seems very jarring, but I only did a couple rows. So I changed my count for my rows. So here's where I am. They're going to be squishy and yummy and fun. I didn't bring the pattern. I showed it to you yesterday, and I'll show it to you tomorrow if I work on these. But this is Sunday, And I have got to work on my temperature dragon today. I have 2 weeks that I have to put in it because I missed last week with Christy. And I haven't done anything without her. So I have on my list of things to do to gather all the temperatures onto my calendar. So I have them ready to go. And maybe start working because I have 14 days. And I can only do 3 or 4 or 5 days, 5 days in our session. So I'm going to have to be stitching in a non-Christy session if I'm going to catch up. I finished the one eye. I didn't put the second eye in, but I at least have the one eye. And I'm really glad I do because because of the way that, let me go get it. Okay, because of the way this works, well, I have some outlining to do. I'll have to do outlining too. I'm here. I think I only have like 2 days left on this jeweled forehead, but it's going to be quite some time before it's obvious that I'm doing a dragon. And, you know, the other ones that I've done, the bookshelf and the drinks shelf, it's been obvious from the beginning what I was doing because I was making drinks or books. This is not going to be obvious for a while, but I think putting the eye in really made a difference for me. So I have 2 days here, and I think I have to outline that part. Yeah, so I need to once I put those 2 days in, I need to outline it because it's outlined like in a light gray. And then go around, go down like this for the rest of the days in January, down to the top of the nose. Now, interestingly, the nose, very nosy part, is December. So I'm going to go down here and then go around and around and around and around and around, come back, and December will be cool too. So I'm very interested to see what my colors start to look like because we've had some low temperatures, we had some high temperatures. We'll see, but I got to go gather with the temperatures. But anyway, that's where I was when last you saw it. So this isn't any big revelation to you who have, you know, memorized my work. I don't know why you wouldn't all have memorized my work. But that's what I'm going to work on today. But I have to gather my temperatures. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go run to the store, get Aura's pills, get a couple things from the grocery store that's next door. And, yeah, supposedly the wine's going to be delivered today, which may mean that Dennis has to take the dogs by himself so I can be home to sign for the wine. Yeah, and it's really annoying. They say, oh, we'll make 2 more attempts. They didn't make an attempt. There was no attempt yesterday. We were home. No attempt. But, you know, undoubtedly the driver got behind because they're overworked and too many things on their, you know, whatever. And so he could go home at a reasonable hour on a Saturday night. He marked it as attempt nobody home. But he better attempt again today. That's all I got to say. Anyway. So, if it doesn't come before nap time, before walk time, Dennis will probably take the dogs by himself. But meanwhile, I'm going to go to the store and get a few things. And I wore my turtleneck. This is my Monte Rosa. So I'll be warm and cozy on a damp and dreary day. It gets colder, but drier going forward. So that's good because we are in mud season at the moment. But that's okay. All right. So that's it for me. But I did do crafting yesterday. Aura and I watched Silverado, and I knit through Silverado. She enjoyed it, and that was fun. Maybe we'll just listen to music tonight and have a fire. That would be fun too. Dennis doesn't know I'm working up to needing a fire today. I'll give him plenty of notice, though, so he prepares himself. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.